Hi, I'm Lori Grunin, Senior Editor for CNET, and this is the Sony Alpha SLT-A55V. With its SLT series of cameras, Sony spans a gap between mirrorless interchangeable lens cameras and the traditional DSLRs. Unlike a DSLR, but like some ILCs, the SLT uses an electronic viewfinder. That's because the amount of light reflected up to the phase detection sensor isn't quite enough to sufficiently illuminate a DSLR-like optical viewfinder. Bottom line, the shooting experience of the SLT-A55V is kind of a hodgepodge as well. And because the mirror doesn't perform the single most important function it serves in a DSLR, enabling an optical viewfinder, we categorize the SLTs as interchangeable lens cameras rather than DSLRs the way Sony marketing does. I've mixed thoughts about the A55V's photo quality. By many objective standards, it fares pretty well for its price class. In JPEGs up through ISO 1600, it does a decent job balancing noise and detail. At ISO 3200, photos look acceptable unless you've got a whole lot of fine detail or edges where softness will be too obvious. I find you can get sharper results with more attractive grain by processing the raw files, but the trade-off is more clipping in the shadows. There doesn't seem to be a lot of dynamic range to play with. Furthermore, it delivers reasonable color accuracy. But none of my photos wowed me, and I shot about 500. Most had a very point-and-shoot quality to them. Not the over-sharpened type of look, but the details never really resolved appearance. And that's even with expensive lenses. For point-and-shoot upgraders who want better video, the A55V gets a qualified recommendation. The quality is pretty solid, and it can autofocus well enough for casual use, albeit loudly. You really want to use a hot shoe microphone with this. And the interchangeable lens system means you'll be able to put on a long zoom lens for shooting your kids' sports or school plays. Using the image stabilization really cuts into the recording time on this though. And creative shooters who are looking for a cheap entry into DSLR video really should look elsewhere. From that perspective, the video is softer than I'd like, with some surprising moire in spots, and there are practically no manual controls. Plus, unhacked AVC HD camcorders don't support any progressive 1080 modes. There's an aperture priority movie capture mode, but it only works with manual focus, and it locks the aperture wide open. As for speed, the A55V performs reasonably well. For burst shooting, it not only leads its class, but it's pretty fast for any class. I give the camera high marks for general photographic usability. The EVF is probably the best I've ever used. The camera functions very much like Sony's standard DSLRs. The relatively sparse mode dial contains the usual program modes, auto, flash, scene, etc., as well as the new Auto Plus, a late-to-the-party automatic scene selection mode. I can't help but think that a camera like the A55V is what people are really looking for when they gravitate towards megazooms. To me, that's where it fits in the photographic hierarchy. Most snap shooters looking to step up want something faster and with better overall photo quality than their current camera, but usually want it for a lot less than the A55V costs. If its brother, the A33, delivers comparable image quality, well, it's a big if. And if you don't want the GPS, then that's definitely a better deal, albeit still on the expensive side. However, if you're willing to spend the bucks, or wait until the price inevitably drops by at least $100 off list, the A55V should deliver on the performance and photo quality many upgraders are looking for. I'm Lori Grunin, and this is the Sony Alpha SLT A55V.